Hey everyone, this is Dr. B, and I'm back. Thankfully, maybe you can tell here in my face that a lot of the swelling has gone down. So I have some kind of orbital swelling issue right now. So they went into the orbital area, which is right under the eyes, and relieved some pressure. But in doing so, it also causes inflammation and just a lot of swelling. So I really had this ginormous face most of the week. So I'm glad to finally kind of be getting back to normal. Unfortunately, it's not all corrected, so I will go back again in a couple of weeks for them to try to reduce more swelling, and then kind of just take it step by step. So I appreciate those that reached out and kind of sent me well wishes and prayed for me. I really appreciated it. I looked back at my video that I posted last week and I'm like, oh, that was that. I didn't realize really how swollen I was until I posted that video, and now I'm looking at this one, so I'm like, yes, at least it's going down a lot. So this segment is really not on the script, so we're kind of going off script for a minute. I asked you a question in your discussion board about what is it that you needed from me, or where were the holes in your thinking, and I've always taught this course face to face, and just face to face has a different dynamic than the online. And I've really tried to provide, more videos and things to help you connect to the literature, but it's just hard when we're not in the same room having discussion, talking through situations from your schools or things you've heard of, things happening in the news. It just doesn't work like that with an online course. So I'm learning. This was my first complete online course. I've done hybrid and I've done face to face, but never completely online. So it's been different, and so I'm gonna be definitely revamping and changing things the next time I do this. But it's a learning experience for all of us, and so I don't just give you questions. Just to put questions out there. I'm not here trying to waste anybody's time. And I don't always respond on the discussion board because some of it is just me checking for understanding. I check it all for sure, and I read every single one of them, but I give so much feedback on everything else. It would just take a lot of extra time on something that's important, but that's not necessarily where I want to spend all my time giving you feedback. I can tell that you understood based on your responses. And really, that's what I want to know, that you're reading and that you're comprehending and that you're synthesizing the information. But this question that I posed was really, what else can I do to help you, or where are the holes? And so I've done a couple of things in response to what you guys provided. And if you go to course material tab in Blackboard, you will find that I have added a couple of links there. So one is an ethics tab, and that one's ethics and laws. That's really going to answer 80% of the questions that were on the discussion board. You all really wanted to know kind of more real life scenarios, kind of laws versus ethics. The presentation I posted is actually one that we do with districts. It's a painful 76 slides. But it's going to answer everything you have, or 95% of the questions that you have in your mind are going to be answered by the presentation. And so we usually do this in depth with counselors that are practicing. So I think take some time, go through that. I am not requiring you to do that. That is not part of anything I'm going to grade. But if you really want to get the most out of this course, you're going to look at everything that I post, everything I give. You are getting information that most counselors would love to have. Counselors pay, districts pay for these services and these products. And I kind of give them to you all. I mean, I do give them to you all for free. I don't charge the university, and I don't get any kickbacks for them, because I think they're just quality products that really help counselors understand different topics. So look through it, see if that answers the bulk of your questions. If you still have questions and like something more specific, then please email me, text me, call me, whatever it is that whatever method you want to do, and I will most definitely answer your question. The second area that I had several questions was from the accountability piece and the data tracking. So I have also posted a tab that says Dr. Benavidez lead counselor interview. I know this is not the Dr. B show. It's not that I want to say I've done everything amazing or great. That's not it. But when you want a practical way of applying data, I think my interview presentation that I used when I was applying for the lead role gives you a better idea of what I mean or what the book means when it talks about tracking information. There are no tools per se that I could be able to give you a list of. The way you track data can look differently. It can be as simple as a Google survey, a Google sheet, a Google form, an an exit ticket after a guidance lesson. There's just multiple ways to collect data. So, and I'm not going to tell you one way is better than another, but again, when you look through that presentation, I think you're going to get a better idea. Sometimes it's not quantitative. I mean, we do want to have that quantitative data because it speaks powerfully, but it's sometimes qualitative too. And so you'll notice that I put both quantitative and qualitative data in my interview presentation. That presentation also ends with some communication slides, and so just a little background info there. The team at that point was having a lot of communication issues, and so in anticipation of leading that group, I addressed the communication issues as part of my interview because I knew that it was going to come up as a discussion question. So I figured why not already introduce it and kind of show the plan that I have. Keep in mind that who I am today is based off of 14 years of experience. Who I was when I had that interview was based off of 10 years of experience. So you are not expected to produce products the way that I do now. That's impossible. Right now, you need to focus on learning your trade and learning kind of just the tips and tricks for surviving that first year. The bulk of what you will learn from counseling will be acquired on the job training, and that's with every job. Those of you that were in teacher preparation programs, there's only so much that programs can simulate for you. The true learning and retainment of information is through experience. So keep that in mind because I kind of feel that frustration from you guys a little bit that you want to know everything. And I get it. Like, of course, we want to know everything we can, but no matter what I teach you, even if you were doing this in person, there is so much information and it just doesn't all resonate until you're actually in the role. But at least you'll have kind of a little bit of a schema, and that's what I'm hoping to provide you. So when I can provide examples or more dialogue, I will. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that more. So please forgive me as I'm kind of working through this process as well. The other question I had that kind of didn't match either of those two areas was how do we serve as Christian counselors and deal with students that are having a lifestyle that does not align with our beliefs. And so when I read that question, I can kind of read between the lines and assume that this is probably dealing with a very sensitive group, the LGBTQ community, and especially our transgendered students who are making a bigger presence in our schools. What I have to say about dealing with students whose beliefs don't align with ours is we are here to support kids, period. Whatever they do, whatever they believe, should not impact how we support them. I will say there are some counselors that had a difficult time dealing with LGBTQ students, and so many times they sent them to me. So if you find someone on your campus, maybe another counselor, partner counselor that's a little bit more comfortable, you guys can work that out and decide, hey, Dr. B is going to handle these students until I get more comfort. Even though I would take care of the student's needs, I would have that counselor come in and sit with me and look at how I dealt with it and addressed it. Generally, even though the kids are there because they're dealing with some issues, it's not necessarily they're there for to discuss their gender identity or sexual preference. It's usually there's been an outcry, a suicidal outcry, or they are cutting themselves, or they are having problems like every other student. They broke up with their girlfriend, they had a fight with their parents. Their gender identity and sexual preference has nothing to do with them not being kids. They are still kids. They still cry. They still need help. They still need us. And while they're figuring out life, we are here to support them however we need to. And if we can't do it, then we need to find someone who can. And we need to provide some resources for this very special community. They were amazing kids. I have learned so much from them. I had a few transgendered kiddos that I swear taught me everything I needed to know and more. Some things I didn't want to know, but it made me understand them so much better because it is a world that I don't understand. I can't connect to it necessarily, but I know that I love kids and I love people. And no matter where you come from or what your life choices are, if you're here asking me for help and support, I'm going to do that with grace and love. So this isn't the only situation that's going to come up where you don't believe in what's going on, but we have to stay focused on what our role is, and our role is to support kids socially, emotionally, and academically. And we do not define which kids. It's all kids. So there's kind of the brief answers to the 17 questions that came my way. If you think of things, if you want to know more specifics on anything, I'm an open book. Call me, email me to the emails I like, please, because the Blackboard one is just too hard to check. But text me. If I'm busy, I will tell you, hey, give me a day, give me a few hours to respond. But I want to be a resource to you. I mean, I don't know if everyone gives their cell phone. It's just easier for me because I like texting. But use it. Anyone who's ever texted me knows you get a response, and I'm never, never upset. I get texts all different hours. If I'm awake, I'll answer you. If I'm not, I won't. If I'm busy, I won't. But you will get a response within 24 hours or less. So please use me in whatever capacity you need. I put an announcement out about the midterm. I'm opening it a day earlier because I know a lot of you would appreciate the extra time to get it done and done. I've got some really motivated people in this group, which I love, and so they tend to work a little faster or would like to. So when I can, I will advance the materials, but I like to kind of not over advance because then we start to get confused in what's due and what's this week's information, what's next week. So, but all of it is up and posted. Everything you need for your exam is posted. It will officially open though Sunday the 14th, which is in a couple of days, at 7 a.m. And so from that point until Monday, October 22nd, 11:59 p.m., you will have the opportunity to take your midterm exam. It's relatively short. I want to say it's just 9 or 10 questions. And there's instructions, so don't worry. You're going to have the instructions as soon as the test is available on Sunday. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. You guys have a great, wonderful weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon.